Hey guys, welcome back with Life of the Hamptons. As you can see, we've got the KLR torn completely apart. I'm doing 3 upgrades at once, so I don't have to keep repeating the same work. And what I mean by that, I'll show you real quick what we're doing. I have got, you can see here, this is the carburetor out of it. So I'm going to tear all this apart. I'm going to do all my mods, and I'll show you what I'm doing to this thing. So anyway, we'll show you what we're doing. Probably just do some clips. I won't do real time. Just show you the important things when we get into it. But I have done, you have already seen where we've done the exhaust mods. What we're doing, I've already cut this out, and I've done that. This is the L mod. I've cut all of this out, and I have the Eagle Mike subframe bolt kit, and I have this bolt already out. This one's loose, fixing to come out. I've got these lower subframe bolts already loose, and the kit replaces. We got to drill all the way through the frame, which they're not solid. They're partly solid right here, but anyway, it's just a lot of drilling. But we got to drill through this, and we're gonna put our Eagle Mike subframe bolt kit through here. And I got the one for. It's the longer bolt kit. It's for the crash bars. So while we got this all down, I've got my carb out, obviously. You've already seen it. I'm going to do my carb mods. We're going to do the carb mods. And I can gain, KLR has roughly 35, 36 horsepower from the factory on a dyno at the wheel. And that varies on which dyno you're using, your elevation, all that stuff varies. But here where I'm at, we're about 1,700 to 2,000 feet in elevation, and I can go from a bone stock KLR, puts down about 35 horsepower with my carb mods that I do, the L box, complete top of the air box out, the L box, the L mod on the air box, my exhaust mods that I do. I can put down 45 horsepower on this KLR, and it increases the torque by about 6.5 to 7 foot-pounds of torque. So it actually transforms this into a super nice adventure bike. And I'll put in a clip of me trying to pull the bone stock KLR up after exhaust. Now I've got the exhaust on it on this clip that you're going to see. But it's bone stock gearing, bone stock carburetor, and no airbox modifications at all. But it will not come up in first gear. I have to really jerk and preload the suspension in first gear to get it to come up at all. And you will see, I'll put in another clip, when we get this done and get it going, it will power wheelie up in third gear. With a slight preload and pull up. I can clutch it up easy in fourth gear. Now this is stock gear and on a pig. It makes all the difference in the world. And you don't have to go out and buy the KLX needle kit and all that stuff. I'm going to grind my stock needle. I'm going to shim my stock needle. I'm going to make the adjustments. I'm going to jet everything, and I'll show you how to do it to save you some money and have better performance than what the KLX kit will give you, and save, you know, $80 to $100. That's always a plus when we put it somewhere else. But anyway, we're going to get right in here and we're going to get to it. I hope y'all enjoy. All right, guys, back. This is my jet, my main jet. It's a 145 from the factory. 145. A lot of you are going to be frowning what I'm doing right here, but doesn't have to be precise. I've done this a lot, and I mean a lot, I mean a lot. So this is a 1/16 size drill bit. So I'm going to put that right here. And that's all we do. Now we have our needle jet. Let's see if we can see this. Oh yeah. now that is our needle jet. Our main jet went from a 145 to a 161.5 to a 162 is what a inch and 16th comes out to. So it's getting a little precise there, but so we're between a, cover it really good, we're between a 160 and a 162 jet. So 161 probably the better way to describe it. But that's what we do, and we will put this back in. This is the needle tube, which this goes in here, and then your needle actually slides down in that. Just what that looks like. This actually comes down through your slide, and it goes in the housing. And we can see here so when it's up about 3/4 of the way on the shaft, that's where your idle fuel comes through. So what we'll do is we'll start tapering this about from 3/4 down. We want it to stay on our idle because we don't want to mess with our idle too much. But we'll come about 3/4 of the way up and start tapering it down. And doing so, we'll get much more fuel with the instant of a blip of throttle. And this is it's one of those things I used to measure these, but it's just, if you want to go over to where your spring starts, like right where it joins right there, we're going to go 3 1/4 turns down, or 3 1/4 ribs. So that'll be your first rib. If you can see that, that's your first rib, your second rib, and third rib. Now we'll go 1/4 of a turn, roughly right there. So roughly right here is where we will make our fantabulous turn. You see that right there. So that's what we're going to cut off of our slide spring. So we'll come over here, and I'm going to grab this, and we will simply, bam, as Emerald Agassi would say, bam, we got it. Bam, 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 bam. So we don't want this point to get hung up anywhere, so we'll bend that down just a hair, so that point won't get hung up on anything. And that is our new slide spring. Voila! So we have cut about 3/4 of an inch off of it, and that's how we roll. That's how we do that. So we are ready to grind the needle, and I'll show you a little bit of that. Alright guys, back with you. You see we got the stock needle out of it, and here's all the components. I don't have the carburetor opened up yet, but just wanted to show you. This is a must. You must have a bunch of different jets if you're going to do this type of work. So we're just going to get right into it and show you what I'm doing. I got the drill bit right here, and as you can see, this has the main needle jet hole, and then to the right of that is a smaller one. As you can see, that's the bit's not that big, but you can see the bit will not go in that one. It's a size bigger than that hole. I can tell you exactly what it is right here. Forgot, it is a 7/64 is what it is. So we use a 7/64 drill bit, and we'll just get right into this portion of it. So we'll try to be as even as possible. I don't know if it'll even pick up right there. So what I'll try to do is maybe scoot back where you can see what I'm doing. My wife just pulled in. Going high speed so don't hang up and burr up. Just that simple, and we're not going to stop with one. We made that one bigger, but we will go over here. It's taking a lot of pressure because this is aluminum, and like unlike DRZs that have the plastic slide, that's a lot of pressure. Getting somewhere now. There we go. Hello, dear. So now you can see we have 2 holes in the bottom of that slide. 7/64. Of course, I'll clean all that up good before it goes back in. Hit it with the air hose, all that good stuff. Guys, I'm back, and all I'm doing is using this drill. Just taking it, I'm rolling it, just making sure I'm getting a couple turns. That's all I'm doing, backing it back up. Over and over. Not applying a whole lot of pressure to it. I'm letting the sandpaper do the work. It just takes practice. You have to be turning when it hits. It's got to be turning when it hits the sandpaper, and it has to be turning when you pick it back up. If you leave it for just a split second flat, you'll have a major flat spot. Again, we don't want to get up past the idle jet location. We're about there. You can see that? If you can see that or not, but see how sharp that is now? I don't know if you can really get a good contrast of what it looks like now. Now what I'll do, I'll take and that's pretty sharp. So what I'll do is I'll take a buffing wheel, change that out right quick, and I'll polish this needle up and see if it needs any more fine tuning anywhere. Be right back. Alright, we're back with a buffing wheel, and we'll see how this goes. I'm not having to turn this. You can see I'm not turning it a whole lot because it's got to cut, and this is just a cloth, so all I'm doing I did put a little bit of buffing compound on it. It's just that red stuff you're seeing. You can see there where, well, I don't know if you can see, but I can see I'm getting a polish on it, making it slick. That's what we're after. Turn it a little more. A little more. Alright, guys and gals of YouTube land, that is slick right there. See that? If you can see it, but it's here, it's really shiny, and it looks like it's bent, but that's just this wide angle lens that I've got. It's straight as a needle. Ta-da. But it's really shiny. It polished up really nice, so that'll work wonderful. And we'll continue on. We'll start assembling everything back now. Alright guys, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to show you, we're almost done with it. I've showed you the needle, I've showed you everything. We've already changed jets. We've already drilled that jet out. So anyway, what we're going to do is I got a drill bit, and this is the air mixture screw right here in the, this is the bottom, this is obviously your float, so it's right here in front. So we're going to take and we're going to drill this out, and you kind of be careful with it. I guess not kinda, but be careful with it, that you don't go down too far once it breaks through and hits the top of your air fuel screw. So don't take a whole lot of kind of back off when you see it's like got some pretty good threads. We're about through it now. There, don't even really put much pressure at all. Just we're almost through. Right there. And as soon as it goes through, you stop, get you any type of wood screw at all, it doesn't matter. Just one little start. So we'll just take and we'll start him in there, and we'll just start it. See what we got once we start that, right? So you see the screws in there, and then we just kind of pry and pry. And you might have to thread it back in there a little more. I don't know how this is showing up on film. Just pry it out just like that, and there it is. And we didn't touch the mixture screw. I don't know if you can see that in there, but we didn't touch it. So you just drill the hole and pull it out of there. That's all there is to it. So now, real quick, we're going to go down, since I've done the extreme mods that I've done, took the whole entire top of the L box out. I've went oversized my jets. I have drilled out my slide. I have cut my slide spring. They recommend these, if you do a few mods to them, like your exhaust and an airbox mod, they recommend that you go all the way in and then you come back out 2 to 2.5 turns tops. I'm going to go ahead and back it out 3 turns. So you don't need to see that, but I'll take a small screwdriver and put it in there, and I'm going to screw it all the way in snug, and it should be about a turn and a half out now. But once I get it all the way in, I'm going to back it all the way out 3 turns. Now 3 turns is the max on these, roughly. If you have to turn it out more than 3 turns, it really does no good at that point as far as your air fuel screw. So if that is an issue with it running, with it idling, with it bogging off a lean bog, if that is an issue once we get the car back on, I'll have to take this back out and I'll have to change my idle air jet. I can make it a hair bigger. But usually three turns is dead on, and if anything I'll have to turn it back in about 1/4 or 1/8 of a turn. But now we're going to start assembling. Hey guys, we're also going back. I'm putting the bottom back. I just put the jet back in and adjusted my idle or my air fuel mixture screw. But going back, this is the never mind, it's the front master kit brake. But here we're going back with the Carb screw, the screws for that. We're going to upgrade that because anybody's ever fooled with a carburetor, whether it's on a DRZ or KLR or whatever, but you pull a carb apart a couple times and you now have stripped out screws, Phillips head screws. So we're going back with the Allen head. Anyway, just thought I'd show you all that. And guys, I would like to say something about these carb builds. I watch YouTube all the time and learn a lot of stuff, what to do, learn a whole lot of stuff, what not to do. Some of the things I've seen a couple people do, it's still just a mystery to me. One today I was watching, there's evidently a couple people doing it. They're installing this KLX Eagle Mic kit. Nothing against the Eagle Mic. You know, I got kicked off of a KLR forum, KLR650 forum. I got kicked off of there because evidently I was telling what I do with my KLR builds, and evidently some of the administrators, you know who you are, didn't like what I said and thought I guess I was either lying or I didn't have a clue what I was talking about some of the things I had done with the KLR Carb, and actually kicked me off of the forum. I don't know, I guess for being an anarchist, I guess, against KLR forum about what everybody else was saying to do. But anyway, if it tickles them that I'm not on there, it tickles me that I'm not on there. So this is just got the bolts back on here for the bottom. But what I was talking about earlier is on that KLR, what I was watching today on YouTube, there's a couple people, just like, I hate to call anybody out, but several people, and it's not calling anybody out, let me get that straight. It's not calling anybody out. It's what Eagle Mic recommends, I guess, through the KLR needle kit, and what he was recommending. And again, this is secondhand information because this was on Swanky Cat. It is on him. I was watching him, and all he was doing was reading instructions, and so I was just listening to what he was saying, what the instructions said. I've never bought a KLX needle kit, but anyway, he was talking about how it came, and it said to, we're going to shim up the needle. We're going to take the stock, the KLX needle, and we're going to shim it and put one shim under it, or bring it down to like the middle slot or whatever it was. And after we do that, then we're going to take, and it's got a 145 jet from a factory in it, main jet, and he said that the kit recommended to put a 142.5 jet in it, and that just left. So he did. He took a 145 out and put a 142.5 in, And that left me scratching my head. The whole thing we're doing here, we're doing airbox mods on our bikes. We're doing exhaust mods on our bikes. So now we're trying to get this air pump of an engine to work, right? That's what we're doing. So we take and we chop our air box up so our air pump of an engine can pull more air in. We put aftermarket exhaust on, so now we can push that air out of our air pump of an engine. So we have to have fuel. So why would we restrict the amount of fuel that was in it factory? It blows my mind. Don't understand it. And if you'll watch that Swanky Cat episode, when he gets on it, he says he's disappointed in it. And the difference between before and after. Now he goes through excuses and he says it's not the KLX needles, the KLX kit's fault and all that stuff. But if you watch this video, you know what we're done to the first of it. I mean, this jet that I put in here is the equivalent to a 161 roughly. It could be half off either way, but roughly it's a 161 jet. It's what we're putting in here, and this bike eats. I mean, it eats. That's the only way I know how to tell you. It is the difference between daylight and dark, what it used to be and what it is after we do this. I'm not concerned about fuel mileage. It may only get 40 miles to a gallon. It may get 38 miles to a gallon, but it'll get you a whole lot more miles to the gallon than what you were getting previously. Not doing all these mods to maintain that 50, 55 miles to a gallon that you can get on a perfectly tuned stock KLR. Not concerned about that at all. This is miles per gallon. That's what we're after. So yeah, I don't understand that, and maybe y'all can enlighten me. Not that I'll probably listen. I'm just being honest, because I can't imagine going to a 142.5 jet will make it run better than a 160 to 161 or 2, what I'm putting in there now. Because now I'm getting more air in, I'm getting more air out, I need more bang. I need more fuel. I don't need to restrict my fuel. I know that the needle is smaller and that needle is tapered theoretically a little bit more, so when you pull it up you're getting a little bit more fuel. I want a lot more fuel. You just got to play around with the jetting, which I've done over the years, and I've got it to where this thing eats. It'll power wheelie in 3rd gear stock gearing. I can clutch it up easy in 4th gear. I can clutch it up. And that's a pig on about, it turns it into about 45 horsepower at the wheel. So I just wanted to, I'm going to give you that for free, and might lengthen the video just a little bit, but that is my 2 cents for today. Just don't know why that some instructions tell you to do that. I want all I can get, and that's what we're going to do. But anyway, we're going to get this back together. I'm going to go ahead and get this put back on. I'll probably have you some clips of, it's going to be a long video, I'll probably have you some clips of putting the crash bars on, putting the bolt kit and all that stuff in. I might separate it and I might throw it all in together. I don't know, but we're going to do it all at one time as we're going back in. Then I'll have you some clips of the before and after of the non-wheelies versus the wheelies. So God bless you guys. Just continue to watch, and we'll get on with this. I was back. And what I'm going to do, you can do several different things, but I have this big shim out of another kit. So what I'm doing is I'm putting that big shim on. As you can see that right there, it's a big thick neoprene shim that I got with a Carb kit. So I'm going to use that. This is equivalent to about 3 of those number 4 washers that you can buy. What I do recommend instead of getting the number 4 washers, you can get the number 4 lock washers. The number 4 lock washers are like twice as thick, and you can take a pair of pliers, and you know a lock washer will have like one edge will be, I don't know how to get you to see that, but like here's the washer, one edge will be up like that, right? And that's the part that locks in and digs into your nut when you mash it flat, when you tighten it up. But all you have to do is take a pair of pliers on them little number 4 lock washers, and you can mash them down flat, and it becomes just a big thick washer. So you can use 2 of those, 2 number 4 washers to start with. And again, we're dumping the fuel in it. And that's the whole purpose. The whole purpose is to make a bigger bang, but to get enough air in and enough air out to where it will take more fuel. So that's what we're doing. All right, just showing you that right there. Now we're assembling at this point. All right, guys, what we've already done, we have took these 2 bolts out. We've loosened up the bottom 2 subframe bolts, and we took the 2 top subframe bolts out. It's the first bit that comes in the kit, and we have. Hey guys, welcome back to Life of the Hamptons. You can see I've got the old KLR back together. We got the crash bars on it. We got all of that stuff done. We've got the carb done. Doohickey is finished. All of this stuff, we're good. I just want you to hear what it is when we sound like, hear what it sounds like when we fire it up. I did end up having to change a pilot jet from I think it's a 45 stock, I believe, maybe, or a 40. We went the next step up. So if it was a 40 stock, we went to 42.5, and it was 45. If it was a 45, we went to 47.5. Because it just wasn't getting, it just wasn't big enough there off the idle. So anyway, here, I'm gonna show you what we got, and I'm gonna show you the crispness of this. And after we did that, we went 2 3/4 turns out with our air fuel mixture screw. Here we go. And a backfire. No throttle. Let's try that again. So usually it's like it kind of acts like a pumper carb now. So let's try pumping it twice before we fire it. There you go. I want you to listen and watch the crispness of it. There's no delay. It's almost like a mechanical carb now. Watch the RPMs there. Watch this, I'll bleep it. There's absolutely zero low end lean bog or anything like that. Works perfect. We're fixing to strap the GoPro up and put it on my helmet. We're going to go out and pull some wheelies and see what a difference it makes. Hey guys, we're back out. Sitting there idling perfect. I see red dot, we're good to go. Temperature has come up. No lean bog. Sounds good. One of the huge things that I noticed when I cranked it while it's cold is just the huge difference in the quietness of the motor now. It's so much quieter now after the Eagle Mike doohickey change. It took a lot of that chain thrash away. That engine's just really quiet now. But just wanted y'all to see this. Another thing I did find out, I kept talking about stock gearing. This has a 16-tooth front sprocket, so it's not stock gearing. I think the back is still a 42, or stock, whatever it is, but it is 16-tooth front sprocket. And this thing's up to temp, but one of the things that I instantly realize with that carb upgrade when I do it is it's just the instant twist the throttle, pulls. There's no lean bog, no nothing, it just goes. Another thing we got to take into account on this, the difference between the first pull before the carb work and now. I just put 4.5 more gallons of fuel in the fuel tank, and I've got 25 extra pounds or 30 extra pounds, whatever they weigh, crash bars up on the front. So all of that, even though it's not a great deal, all of that will play a pretty big role in how easy the front end comes up on this bike. But it's third gear, and it's just like, it just truly tractors through, and that's it just wakes these KLRs up so much. It's incredible. And the difference, I don't know if for you guys that have bought a, what are we waiting on? Marvin. He's gonna want to stop and talk. I was in his way. But the difference between your bone stock KLR and then you putting in either the KLX needle or the JD needle kit and doing your airbox mod and a slip-on exhaust, 3x3, or well, the L-box, whatever it is on this one, 3x3 on DRZ, but you do those generic mods that goes along with that jet kit. And the difference, if I can get a personal thing right there. Oh yeah, a little better. But the difference between the way the bike feels being bone stock and then doing the jet kits to it, the extra power that you feel, and just it feels like it's a lot more throttle response. That again is the difference between that standard jet kit and then when you do this. When you go ahead and go with a 160, 162 and a half jet, and you pull the snorkel out, you do the entire L-box mod, and you do the full exhaust, well not full, just it's basically a slip-on, but I made mine. However, some people putting headers on the KLR, I have done that twice with no gains, 0 gains. The limitations on the KLR is not in the head pipe, it's in the exhaust. So spending that extra $200 for a power bomb or something like that does not help. It doesn't help. So just save your money. I've already been the one to waste money on that, and it doesn't help. But again, it's like twofold power versus just going over versus a stock one. So let's just try this. We'll go first gear, 3,000 RPMs, I believe is what we were. And so we'll go to 3,000. Right there, somewhere. Okay, that is easy, pretty easy. Second gear. No, we just ain't got it in second gear. The weight, evidently the extra weight and the tank and the crash bars plus the 16-tooth sprocket are just going to keep it from coming up in second at that low RPM. Now let's see what it'll do at, let's go to 45 or 4,000, see what it'll do. Get up in the power range. 4,000 maybe, something around in there. I just don't want y'all to think I lied to you, because I know I've done these a lot, and had I, whatever reason, it was just, I mean, I was on reserve. So had I not put 4.5 gallons of gas in here, nor put these on, that's where it makes the world of difference between coming up in second gear, just sitting on it. It'll still power wheelie up in second, but it's just it's a big difference. Put a lot more weight on the front of the bike. But having said that, it jerks up off the ground in first gear. I mean, just like, it's silly power. Silly power in first gear. Now see, we're in second now. So I mean, now, I mean, even with the gas and the crash bars, it's kind of ridiculous. It still just pop up. And the thing I love is this throttle response. Instant. Just no bog. I love that. And it just transforms these carburetors, transforms this bike. This bike becomes a little torque monster, and it's instant throttle response. See what we got here. So we got first gear. Okay, no big issue. All right, second gear. No problem. Third gear. It's just heavy on that front end. If I'm running about 40 to 45, it'll pull up in third gear. We'll do it right here. At 40, 45. So I mean, it's I don't know, it's just pretty impressive. Think you can take a 450-pound machine. Basically, we're getting about 1 horsepower for every 10 pounds to the ground, and we're pushing in the mid-40s to the wheel right now. And again, that's not a guesstimation. I've done these so much. It varies between 1 horsepower, between like 44.5 and 45, almost 46 horsepower to the wheel on our dyno, the one I use at Wheeler's Performance. So anyway, I can't say enough how this transforms these bikes. Third gear power wheelie at 45 miles an hour, I say power wheelie, you can clutch it up. Even with the extra weight and a full tank of gas, you still clutch it up. So it's pretty impressive. So anyway, I got to put the skid plate back on there, and that's all I lack. Everything's done. Engine's way quieter. Just very impressed with the way that it rides, and so just there. I hope you like the video, and keep watching. God bless you guys.